Hey there. It's it's Monday evening. Happy Remembrance Day. Just had a little nap, got myself another coffee, take myself through the evening. Lots to do, but not as much as there was. Yeah, kind of getting to that finishing touches phase, which is really nice when you look at all the work that's been accomplished. I don't know, but we've crossed the line, folks. It's a new era. This is the last post on the old era. Yeah, and I think it's fitting that it happens on Remembrance Day. This is the last post, the real last post, I guess, for this story. I don't know. I kind of oscillate between some different emotions. Sometimes it's like I'm just jubilant and like I said, I'm joyful. And my sorrows fled away and joy is taken over and there's happiness in my heart. I think of my babies. I think of Jenny. I know it's not easy for her right now. Oh my goodness, it's not. And I don't want anybody out there thinking that this guy's just got all these Pollyanna thoughts in his head. I'm not the eternal optimist by any means. But I know her, and I know who she is. But more than knowing Jenny or knowing what's in my heart, I sincerely say I know who he is. I know who God is, I know who Jesus is, and I know who the ghost is, and I know I can trust them. And then even though there might be trepidation and anxiety and concerns about so many things, I'm like, whatever. Honestly, my life, and I think most of you see the situation clearly, go, how in the world does he hold it together? Well, whatever. You take the thing in front of you and you do it. What do I do now? What do I do now? Lord, what would you like me to do now? What do I do now? I don't know. I just do the thing that's put in front of me. And if you see all the pieces that he has put in front of me, put together, even in this last weekend, it's just like, I told you, the tumblers are all falling into place. It's just like tick, 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 tick. And everything's falling into place now. Even today, some of the projects I worked on, I'm like working on it, and I finished this one project today, and I'm looking at it, I'm like going, oh my gosh. I was just trying to make something that was functional, and it turned into looking like not just a piece of art, but the perfect piece of art for the place in which this project is going to be built and reside. I'm like, oh my gosh, look at that. That looks like, oh my gosh. And I had no idea. I just kept working, and like I said, just, okay, I'll try this and this and this and this, and the next thing you know, boom. Now that wasn't specifically me saying, okay, God, what should I do next? But you can feel him guiding me and showing me what to do. Because honestly, even if I look at the materials that I put together, I'm like, oh, holy cow, this is pretty impressive. The maintenance guy came into my place today. Asked him, he said he had to check my heating. He walks in and he looked at it and he goes, oh my gosh, John, you're a, and he said some pretty fancy words, pretty nice words to me about me. And I guess the way I think. And he just like, you're like a holy cow, like how did you even, I'm like, no, whatever. And I just work away. And I thought about it today and I'm thinking, Look at what you've created under the most impossible of circumstances. It's true. Once we got over the initial major battle back in July, and then he parted the Red Sea and he delivered me from your clutches at the end of July. Then he hid me away and I worked on scripts and projects for like 17 days straight with 4 hours sleep every night. And then he landed me up here for the last couple of months. I mean, it's impossible. And yet he's done it. And make no doubt about it, he's done it. And here we are. I know some of you despise me. You hate me. I can't help you with that. I genuinely cannot help you with that. Nobody can. Except Jesus. And I'm telling you the truth. Nobody can help you with your bitterness and your anger and your rage. I wouldn't want it for you. But your choices chose it. And if you were to step back and look at things honestly, there's not a single one of you who can sit there and say, John Oliver Pirro did horrible things to me. No, maybe that's not correct. There are some that I hurt when I was acting out of some of my hurt. But even when I was acting out of my hurt, those were my actions. But if you balance that against the kindness and the love and the joy and my goodness towards you in all of those friendships, and in most of them where there wasn't any even really bad, and you understand things in context as to how things were and how, why, all of that. Hating me just doesn't seem to add up. Despising me doesn't seem to add up. And if I were to look at my brother, I would genuinely look at him and say, why? Why are you so angry at me? Why? Why? Think about it, Dave. How many rules in the rule book called the Good Book did you break this last year? How many? How many rules did you break? I didn't tell you to do that. And Dave, here's the thing. You justified, your main justifier for all of it is that John is a violent man and he's gonna hurt me. He's dangerous. That's what you told Jen. If you look at all the texts that I've sent Jen, and trust me, the officials know, the authorities are going, Jen, go to Jesus. Jen, I'm praying for you and the babies. Jen, the babies need to live in a womb of truth. Jen, go to Jesus. Jen, tell my babies I love them. Jen, go to Jesus. I never said, go to John and do what John says. Come to me. Ever. Why? Because you guys put her in a situation that I don't have the answers for. Jesus does. God does. God oversees this whole thing. I don't know what the play is. I only say, what do I do now? Even last week, did I say, Jen, come to me and let me help you sort this out? No. I sent her to Brian and Helen Harvey, good godly people through the Victorious Ministries of Christ, who did wonders working with me and showed love and patience and kindness and care and never once told me what to do or how to be, but guided me and directed me and drew me closer to Christ and cut the bonds between me and the dark side that would stop that from happening. And I have not spoken to Brian and Helen since I've directed Jen there. Why? Because I'm not fishing. I'm not trying to control anything. I'm not trying to control Jen. I'm not trying to control the music. I'm not trying to control you guys. But I am being very clear about the boundaries that I drop, and I'm allowed to do that. So you guys can't fuck around and try and hurt me, or my wife, or my kids, or steal stuff from me. You just can't. And you know what? The authorities go, that's right, Johnny P. That's okay. And rightly so. But you folks, what happened to you all? What happened? Even as you sit in front of people and they question you, you still cling to your lies. You still cling to your deception. Has nothing I said shown you anything that says you're going to go to hell if you keep lying? And if you don't confess now, you probably never will. And God's not going to give you a deathbed confession where he says, okay, I did it all. I'm sorry, bye. You're like, yeah, bye. That's what he'll say. Because you didn't really mean it. You didn't really take a good, hard look at things. And I'm telling you, taking a good, hard look at things is the best thing you can do right now. Forget about the breath that we are here on this planet for 70 or 80 years, because that's just the starting gun. There's an entire eternity. I'm promising you, none of you are getting a dirt nap for all eternity. None of us close our eyes and take our last short breath, and then it's lights out. When we close our eyes, and as good old the bard Shakespeare said, we, shuffle off this mortal coil. Neil Paul, sorry if I got that wrong, but something like that. When this mortal coil gets shed, we're still here. We still exist. Our soul, our spirit goes on. And it doesn't go to nirvana, and it doesn't go to 85,000 virgins or whatever some other faiths say, or this, that, or the other thing. We go to judgment. And we're judged according to our deeds. And I'm not saying that to scare you, because I have no reason to be scared. God has restored everything to me. And a beautiful life is being lived right now. But I'm saying to you all, right now, as you sit in front of these officers, surrender yourself to this process. There is no fight to be had. There is no victory for you to be won. Whatever this whole thing is between you and me, that's over. It's done. It's been decided. It's finished. It's completed. God is now restoring, putting back together, and moving me forward. As right, he should. And for you, he is now taking you on another process. A very painful one. But it's only painful because of the hard exterior shell of pride that wraps itself around your bodies and your minds and your hearts and your souls. And it's the only way he's going to crack it open for some of you. And some of you, I wouldn't want it, but for some of you, you will not let him crack that shell, and you will get hard, dead, hell, done, whatever. And that's the truth. Oh, and there's some of you out there sitting there going, oh, no, you're still clinging to it. No, John Oliver Piro is a false prophet. Whatever. False schmaltz. Yep, I'm certainly a different flavor. But again, who cares what I say? Let's just turn off what John Oliver Piro has ever said or prophesied or whatever it is I do. Just look at what God is doing. And what is he doing in this situation? He's vindicating me. He's surrounding me. He's protecting me. He's bringing good people to me. He's helping me to make friends. He's helping me to prepare to be a father, to be a husband. He's helping me prepare to be a performer in the most miraculous ways. I mean, I got to stand on the stage of somebody who canceled out their show on Saturday night. I got to fill in, and I wake up Sunday, the day before, you guys are trying to lynch me. And God's like, whoop. Yeah, and I was thinking about it. You know what? When I came home from my recording session on Thursday, it's like being in the Garden of Gethsemane. Yeah, I walk up, I see all these police cars, all these authorities wrap themselves around me, all around me. I'm like, hey, where's Constable Chase? Oh, you guys aren't Peel. Oh, you're somebody else. Oh. Yeah, you guys sent the authorities and you arrested me in the middle of the night. Now, parking lot's not the Garden of Gethsemane, and I didn't have any apostles with me. But there were plenty of guys there, soldiers, arresting me, taking me away and taking me in for questioning to Pilate. But this guy was a boss, and he was really good, a young man who really knew how to do it. Now, I know the cameras were on, and I know that the audio was on, and I know other people were listening while I was questioning. It might have been a dry run for him, or they were seeing how good this kid is. And you know what? He's a fine young man. He's a fine man. Fuck it. And he and I hung out, and we did well together. In a genuine way. And I was able to look at him, as I said in the end. I said, look, man, hey, if there's anything I'm accountable for here, hold me to it. Why? Because I want to know the holes in my game. I want to be the best me I can be. And I don't want any victory through any back door. And I'm not talking about a victory over you. I just want to know that the way I'm doing things is the way the Lord would want it. I don't know. But I guess on that fateful night, that Garden of Gethsemane moment, everybody betrayed Jesus. Everybody. All his friends, all his family. His enemies came out in force. And they shut him down. And I'm not Jesus. I am John Oliver Piro. But about 5 or 6 weeks ago, when we were in the darkest of the evil days, and the wickedness was thick in the land, and the deceit covered it almost completely. In the desolation of my heart, I just said, Lord, I don't understand why. I don't get it. Why is this so painful? Why are you doing that? Why am I experiencing such pain? Why am I experiencing such rejection? Why am I experiencing such horror and wickedness and evil? Like, not just on one front, but multiple fronts. And you know what you're talking. The authorities know it, and you all know it. So stick it and quit pretending you don't. But he led me to something. And again, you're going to hate this, some of you, but others, please pay attention because it's important. God works with us all in different ways. But I guess he had me leave myself a clue as to the question that I asked him 5 weeks ago. And he had me leave a clue for myself in some offhand kind of way 10 months ago. And what is that offhanded clue? Well, I guess I was reading this book. And this book was talking about Jesus by John Eldredge again. And I'm going to read this to you. And it's very important. Then I'm going to show you something. And I want you to take a very good look at this, because it's important to this whole story. This is getting ready for the Garden of Gethsemane moment. You will appreciate the mastery of Jesus only to the degree that you understand the minefield in which he walks. He is advancing against the prince of darkness in a bid for the human heart. The whole situation is booby-trapped. Satan already has the upper hand. He took our hearts captive when we fell back in Eden. Some he has snared through abuse, some through seduction, others by means of religion. Oh, how hard it is to rescue the human heart, to dislodge people from their chosen means of survival without toppling them into resignation, despair, or defensiveness. Yeah, not easy. I've had to do some of that with Jen as I've worked to try to get her out of your clutches. How to love her, how to be firm with her, how to shake her up in the midst of the clutches, the captivity that you guys placed her in. And make no word of a lie, you guys placed her in captivity, mentally, physically, psychologically, and spiritually. Yes, you did. And shamefully. Shamefully. Shame was your number one weapon. Shame and then physical force. And all to the point of physical abuse. Yeah, you were holding her captive. And her husband, all he could do was rely on God and Jesus and the good people out there to fight the forces of darkness to shut you the fuck down. And didn't we do that? That's right! But I read on. Jesus won't take the shortcut of a power play. He doesn't force anyone to follow him. There you go. I never told Jen what to do. Not once. He seems rather reluctant to do his miracles. He never overwhelms anyone with a fantastic display of his majesty. He woos, he confronts, he delivers, he heals, he shoots straight, and he uses intrigue. We're going to use a little intrigue here in a moment. He lives out before them the most compelling view of God, shows them an incredibly attractive holiness while shattering the religious glaze. Salvation Army, Harvest Church, David Piro, I shatter your shell, your glaze, your falseness. I shatter it. I shatter your false God. Because, David, you make yourself out to be a God and you put God below you. You pretend God. You don't honor him. But still, he lets them walk away if they choose. And how many times did I put myself out there to all of you? Offered you love, offered you forgiveness, and you turned and walked away. Well, honestly, fuck you all by the blood of Jesus Christ. Don't care about my wife and my babies. Sorry, I'm relentless. And look where we are now. Oh, and you hate it. Yeah, that's nothing to do with me. That's no reflection on me. That's a reflection of the state of your heart and the state of what lives inside of you and your spirit and your being. That's not about me. You can rage and curse my name all you want. Your curses bounce off of me and they reflect right back on your own head. But honestly, it's nothing to do with me. All your hatred, I sleep tight. I move forward. I get excited. Yay, babies. Yay, music. Yay, happy. Yay, free of all of you. Yay, my wife. Though it might be hard right now. But you guys, yeah, whatever. That ship sailed a long time ago. But now Satan has an ace up his sleeve. Even if his captives want out of the POW camp, he has legal claim to them. Yep, a claim that can be broken only by blood. These prisoners can be ransomed, but only at a terrible price. And Jesus came and he paid it. It appears that the evil one doesn't understand Jesus' next move. He sees an opportunity to finish what he started back at the massacre of the innocents. The authorities grab Jesus at night and bring him in under false charges. They bribe witnesses, then get a weary, cynical Roman puppet to execute him because the mob is about to riot. Jesus seems to have run out of options, lost his ability to maneuver. Yet this plays right into his plan, his secret plot to overthrow the rule of the evil one on earth. Apparently, Satan did not know that by sacrificing Jesus, he would pull the one pin that would crumble his entire kingdom, fall into the very scheme God the Father had carefully, ever so carefully, arranged for the undoing of evil. We speak of God's secret wisdom, a wisdom that's been hidden and that God destined for our glory before time began. None of the rulers of this age understood it, for if they had, they would not have crucified the Lord of glory. 1 Corinthians 2, 7-8. You bet they wouldn't. It ruined everything. Now, perhaps this is nothing new to you. Perhaps you've seen a bit of this before, but bring it into the present. Do we love Jesus for his cunning? I don't recall a worship song with the word cunning in it. Thou art cunning, 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 cunning. Do we interpret his actions in our lives as perhaps some sort of cunning plan? Have we ever heard Christians say, how would Jesus like me to be snake-like today? Snake-like, yes. Be as wise as serpents and as innocent as doves. Jesus says, be like a snake, be like Satan, think like him. He does. Doesn't that sound unchristian? Well, too freaking bad. Because it's how it works. But here's the kicker, guys. When I read that chapter, I guess I read it back on December 7th, 2018. And I want you to see that. December 7th, 2018. And you see how I underline? And he led me to this 5 weeks ago. December 7th, 2018. Oh, I read that back then. And when I flipped the page and I read the next part, I wrote something at the top of it. And maybe you can see it right there. And I don't know if you can read what it says, but I'll try to read it for you. God's secret plan is to have everyone against me and sell me out before he turns the table. God's secret plan is to have everyone against me and sell me out before he turns the table. I don't ever remember writing it. I don't even remember why I wrote it. I don't even know what it was, but that was on December 7th, 2018. And if you look at this entire summer, all that has gone on this past year, every single one of you sold me out. And last week you thought you had it. Ha! We've got him. We'll take him in the dark of night. We'll pull it in from another precinct, another jurisdiction, and we will lock him up and we will throw away the key. And then what? Just as you were about to go checkmate, God went, whoop! And he turned the table. And I went, and he went through me. No, guys, checkmate on you. All of a sudden, that bright light that you shone on me, bad man, bad man, bad man, God went, whoop! And he turned that light right on you. And those who you looked to crucify me looked at you and says, you are evil. You tried to get us to execute an innocent man. When you folks are the ones who are about to be executed. Not killed, but executed from the life that you once knew, that you no longer deserve to live. And I wrote that down on December 7th, 2018, 11 months ago. And it came to pass over the last 4 days. I didn't do it. I didn't set it up. I didn't plan it. I went out and I went to a recording session, a writing session, and came back, and you were all waiting with the authorities. And I'm not Jesus. I'm just John. I'm just a guy. But God, He turned the tables on you at the last second. At the last second of this 20-year war. And He said, you guys are like, what happened? What happened? I thought we had him. I told you, He told me. You're Mordecai to their Haman. Be patient, John. I'm your hope. They'll hang themselves soon enough. I'm just giving them the rope. So now as you stand in the gallows, and they're asking if you have any last words, tell the truth. Tell the truth. Accept your punishment. Accept what's coming. Accept that you did it to yourself, and that God saw to it that you would, because of your evil and your wicked ways. If I was wrong here, if I was the evil one, if I was the one who was doing all the bad things, which I'm not, but if I was, I would be the one in the gallows right now. And God would have made sure I stayed where I was. But He's like, what's he doing here? He's got to play a show tomorrow night and glorify me. He's got babies to see. He's got a life to live and a journey to tell and a story to tell and lots of new friends to meet and wonderful adventures that he gets to live now. Why is he all locked up in there? That's wrong. We got to put the right people there. And now he's doing it. So guys, that's a bad last post. But this is my last post on this one. Don't know what else to say. Maybe it's this. Jesus laments over Jerusalem. You guys can all be Jerusalem. "O Jerusalem, Jerusalem," says Jesus, "the one who kills the prophets and stones those who are sent to her. How often I wanted to gather your children together as a hen gathers her chicks under her wings, but you were not willing. See, your house is left to you desolate. For I say to you, you shall see me no more till you say, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord." Well, I don't know if that verse 39 applies to you, but verse 37 and 8 does. See, your house is left to you desolate. Oh, how I wanted to gather your children together as a hen gathers her chicks under her wings, but you were not willing. Over and over and over and over, I stood before you and said, turn around. Don't drive into that brick wall. And you did it again and again and again. I'm just John, but I work for the good Lord Jesus. And right now,